Got a couple good things on tap today. You guys are having a marvelous day. Oh gosh, I have to stop and restart it. Sorry. Up and we will be ready to go. Got a couple things on track for you guys today. I think they're good. I think you're going to think they're good as well. Okay. Thank you guys for joining me today. Right or wrong, unafraid. You guys are great. Please swipe up, share the feed, however it is that you're watching, whether you're watching on Periscope, Twitter, Facebook Live, whatever it is, please share the feed. We got a couple things up today. First of which, well, one of the three is this high school kid. He's suing over playing time. He's suing his coach for $150,000 over playing time. Next up after that, big baller brand might just be worth $1 billion. I'll tell you how. And then Josh Gordon may be reinstated in the NFL, and then we're going to go over for a minute the NFL's ridiculous marijuana policy and how they put their players out. But first up, there is this kid out in California. I know some of you are saying, oh, well, of course it's happening in California. There's this kid out in California in the San Gabriel Valley. He goes to Los Altos High School, and he is suing. He's suing his high school coach for benching him because he didn't get enough playing time. And he's claiming harassment and that he's being unfairly treated and all that. So I put it out on Twitter today, and I'm like, how could this be so? Like, how can anybody sue their high school coach because you didn't get enough playing time and then want to claim harassment? You guys send in your comments. We will get to them. Because the thing about it to me is it doesn't make sense, because under no circumstances, if I am a coach, am I discussing playing time with a parent? I am not discussing playing time with a player a little bit. But the truth is, you got to go out there and bust your ass to get on the field. And the idea that we're going to try to sue coaches, that's insane to me. That is insane. Because mind you, the suit points out, he wants $150,000. He said he was bullied, that his son was a starter for 3 years, new coach came, and now all of a sudden the kid can't get no tick. You know what that sounds like to me? That sounds like to me they were terrible. New coach came. He didn't think you were all that good. Maybe you got complacent as a starter, and he says, you know what? You're not really playing that much. You're not playing. But they're blaming it on a fundraiser. They're saying the kid didn't participate in the fundraiser, then the coach benched him. Then it's at over 4 months over the course of 14 games. And then I'm thinking, this is baseball, right? I'm pretty sure they played more than 14 games. So Max Preps, went to Max Preps. They usually have pretty accurate information. Looked it up. Same school, same coach, Gabe Lopez. The kid Robert Lopez is on the team. This team went 10-14 last year. 7-8 in league. That's a lot more than 14 games. So that means that the kid played in 10 games. So that means he wasn't benched the whole season. That's the thing that doesn't make sense to me, is that you're just trying to be upset because your kid got benched. Maybe he wasn't good enough. Maybe there were kids that transferred in. I mean, if you guys, as a parent, mind you, I have 4 kids. So I am into protecting my kids. But I believe that this sort of mentality in terms of suing coaches for playing time, that this is all a result of participation trophies. Participation trophies. Because you don't just get something just because you show up. You don't get to play on a team just because you show up. There are leagues for that. But most leagues are competitive. Why on earth would you want a league where there are participation trophies? It doesn't make sense to me. It creates a sense of entitlement in these kids that doesn't translate over into the real world. This is high school sports. When you go out for a team, you are the coach is under no obligation to play you. His job is on the line. The team season is on the line. So naturally, in theory, he's supposed to play the best players, right? In theory. But baseball is one of these sports where stats, if either you hit the ball well or you don't hit the ball well, but then there's a little bit of subjectivity to it. And yes, you can be a player who's only hitting 200, but you keep hitting line drives, but they just happen to be straight to people. That's just bad luck, right? Then that kid's still going to play. But the idea that I agree that life is going to all go your way. Let's all just say how great you are, little Johnny. How great you are, little Susie. Oh man, you did an amazing job. No, sometimes you stink. Sometimes you don't play well, and it's okay to tell the kids that. BBB is Big Baller Brand. We're going to get to that next. It's okay to tell your kids, you know what, kid? I know you tried your hardest, and that's really all I care about. But that wasn't good enough. The reason why you aren't starting is because there are players who are playing better. And I know you want to play, but guess what? It's not happening. It's not happening. You got to get your game up. Because I've been on teams. I've coached kids' teams. There are kids who work harder than others. I would actually lean toward playing a kid who worked harder, gave good effort all the time, but wasn't necessarily quite as talented. Because he'll beat out the other kid. He'll make plays the other kid can't make. Because we lean on this whole talent thing so much. This is where kids, they get the big head. They get rankings. Oh, I'm number 1 in this area. I'm number 2 in this area. And they get complacent and don't want to work anymore. So then it's got to be somebody else's fault, right? So it's got to be the coach's fault. So we get to blaming the coaches. Oh, it's the coach's fault. Teacher don't like me, this and that. I tell my son all the time, my 11-year-old son, because he's mainly a baseball player. And sometimes there's this whole attitude of if he strikes out or it's a bad call by the ump, oh, this ump sucks. Oh, this ump's terrible. I'm like, and guess what? Your job is to go up there and hit the ball. Sometimes bad things are going to happen to good people in life and in sports. So you control what you can control. And I'm like, well, the one pitch you swung at, you missed, right? Okay, well, that's not the ump's fault. That's your fault, son. Got to do better. I mean, this idea that it's always somebody else's fault is detrimental to our youth. It's detrimental to our country's future. It's detrimental to everything. Because we always got to blame somebody else for what happened to us. Guess what? Got a little bit of control over that. That's where we get to topic number 2. Somebody who's taking control of their own destiny in LeVar Ball and the whole Ball family. No, sometimes you guys get tired of the Ball family, but guess what? They are doing something impressive. And everybody hated on them. And I will admit I was part of that crew as well with the whole $1 billion deal. They want this, they want that. Thank you guys for joining me today. Please make sure you share the feed, like the feed, so we get more people involved in the conversation. Send in your comments. We'll get to them. Lonzo and LeVar, they didn't really realize what they were doing when they created Big Baller Brand. They thought that they were going to be able to, sell this, to license it to some big shoe company, Adidas, Nike, Reebok, Li-Ning, whoever it is. They thought that that's what was going to happen. But that's not what happened. But what they are doing is they are changing the footwear industry, and they have an opportunity to do something that most people hadn't thought about. I posted it on my Twitter, so if you want to read the full blog, you can. But check this out. So remember during Summer League, Lonzo came out, he wore the Big Baller Brand, then he came out in Kobe's, Jordan's, James Harden's Adidas, and he wore Steph Curry's Under Armours, right? And they asked him, they said, oh, well, how can you wear this? I thought you were a Big Baller Brand. And he was like, you know what? That's the beauty of Big Baller Brand. I can wear whatever the hell I want to wear. And that got me to thinking, hold up. How else can he be a disruptor in the footwear industry than just going out and wearing Big Baller Brand shoes, having his own shoes? So that got me to thinking, what if Lonzo Ball stayed a mercenary all season? He didn't sign with the shoe contract company, wore his big baller brands when he wanted to wear them. But also, what if he was a mercenary and sold his feet every night for all 82 games? No commitment to a company. I'm just going to be a mercenary. Think of it like boxers. When they go out and they have a fight and they wear Hugh Blow on their trunks, they wear Swatch, they wear Nike, they wear whatever the hell it is, but that's not their company that they rep every single day. It's just for the fight. You see Corona in the middle of the ring. This is just a sponsorship or a branding deal just for this one event. Imagine if Lonzo Ball does that with his shoes. Because if you amateurize it over the course of 82 games, if a shoe company is paying a guy $5 million, that works out to about $61,000 a game. $61,000. So they're already paying players this type of money per game. Football size version, Kevin Hart. That's good. Hella handsome though. So they're already paying players this type of money. Now, you have to remember that Lonzo Ball is the most talked about player in the NBA besides LeBron James. The most talked about player. The most researched, the most Googled, all that. So people want to know what this dude is doing. He's turned into a polarizing figure. So now imagine what he can fetch on an every night basis. Probably regular season game, shown on local TV, $40,000, $50,000 a game. National TV games, though. What do you think he can get for national TV games? 75, 100,000? Oh, probably. I would definitely err on the side of Lonzo being able to get $60, $75, $100,000 for national TV games. And then he can go out and endorse whoever he wants to endorse during the regular season. Think about that. He can go do commercials for Nike. He can go do commercials for whoever and not worry about conflicting brands and all this stuff. He has an opportunity to be a disruptor in this market. And I think it's a great idea. And I came up with it. That's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of the whole situation. Next thing up, Josh Gordon. Josh Gordon in the NFL. So this man, wide receiver for the Cleveland Browns. You might not remember him because he hasn't played in 3 years. Josh Gordon is arguably the best receiver in the league while he has been on the field. Got a DWI, then he has been suspended. Now he's gone to rehab, came out of rehab, got reinstated, got resuspended indefinitely. All this garbage, right? And the thing that makes me upset and puzzled and bothered about this whole situation with Josh Gordon is the league's antiquated stance, on marijuana, and also on its inconsistent disciplinary policy. Because how can you make sense of the Ray Rice, 2 games, beating his wife? Then because I know that you're not supposed to compare punishments, but you don't have a choice. This is the way of the world. Then you give Tom Brady 4 games, deflated balls. Josh Brown, 1 game. You get a DUI, you get 2 games. And now Josh Gordon's in and out of this. This is a thing. The league is so behind on this marijuana policy, especially with the way that it let players and actually created a culture where prescription pills were being abused. The league did this. The NFL created a culture where prescription drugs were abused. Let me give you an example. When I had surgery on my knee, I was in Alabama, had surgery on my knee, Dr. Andrews did. I'm in the hospital that day. I'm in pain. You know, you're laying in the hospital bed, you hit the button. You hit the pain button to send more pain medication down. Okay, I'm still in pain. So I call in the nurse. Nurse, I'm in pain. You know, I need some help. Please take care of me. Please help me, please. And you know what she said to me? She said, okay, cool. Comes back. She brings me a needle with some drugs in it. I'm like, okay, cool. You know what she gives me? She gives me Toradol. I'm like, okay, why would you give me Toradol? She said, this is what we give people after surgery. I'm like, no, hold up. There must be a different Toradol because before games, there's a line called the T Train 20 deep where they give you a shot in your butt of Toradol to take the edge off. And she was like, no, it's the same thing. I'm like, what? And she was shocked as I was because they're giving us Toradol before games. But this is the same thing you give to people after surgery. And then on the way home on flights, I could literally ask for 10, 12 Vicodin if I want them, Percocet, Soma, whatever it is that I want. Mind you, it's changed its policy then. But it's still got an antiquated policy on weed. Marijuana is legal for recreational use in California, Alaska, Nevada, Oregon, Washington, and Colorado, Maine. Yes, and Maine. That's the, and Massachusetts as well. And it's also legal for medical use in Colorado, Arizona, Arkansas, Louisiana, Florida, Hawaii, New York, Pennsylvania, Montana, I mean, the list, Wisconsin, North Dakota, list goes on and on. So it makes no sense to me why this dude is still out of the league. It makes no sense. Like, how can you try to live by this same policy? I understand it's federal law. The states have their own choices and made their own choices. So how on earth are they going to keep a guy out when you have domestic abusers, DUI guys, just bad people sometimes in general, amongst all the great ones as well? But you're going to keep this dude out? It just doesn't make sense to me. Just doesn't make sense to me. This speaks to the problem with the NFL. They don't really care. They want to act like they care. Same thing with Ezekiel Elliott. They want to act like they care, but in reality, they suspended a man 6 games, minimal evidence, somebody who lied and tried to blackmail, but you didn't meet with either of them. That's just a cover your ass moment that the league did. Suspended him. All this about cover your ass because in reality, they don't really care because if they did, they would invest money into their players' mental, emotional, and spiritual health. And they don't. And big companies do that. That's the part that is just absolutely like mind-boggling to me. Why would you allow this to happen? You are the NFL. You are a huge entity. You want positive things. You want positive light. So why not continue to invest in that? That might actually be too much like right, and that might actually have you to actually care. That might mean that you actually have to do the right thing in some situations, but they don't have an interest in that. The interest is in public perception and money, but they're not even protecting their own money. It's asinine to me. But did anybody else have any comments on the high school player who sued his coach? If you didn't see it, it's at the beginning of the Periscope. You can go back and watch it after it's done or rewind it if you can. High school coach gets sued by player. Bananas to me. Just absolutely bananas. And it's going to create a culture where we can just sue people and blame people for everything that happens to us. And that's ridiculous. Sometimes you're just not good enough. Sometimes you just need to be better. You guys, thank you guys for joining me today. Again, right or wrong, unafraid. Gonna hit it every day. Make sure you guys share the feed, like the feed with everybody. I appreciate it. Yeah, you guys, peace out.